Roger's number.
Did you say the dam left early?
We're supposed to be starting 30 seconds early. I don't think we did that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go! See you tomorrow, hopefully first! God, it's a beautiful day out today.
That's it.
Oh, you killed it.
That's 112.
Good luck, Betty! It'd be nice if you had a radio. Nice rooster. Now who's up?
Well, look at that boat flexing. Or didn't know about the dead stop, I guess. 140. Oh. Good trip.
You can see him, Cal.
How'd you get?
So it's lethal weapon and Demientieff? Yeah.
The lethal weapon was the first Indiana, making it took him 55 minutes. He was followed in second place by Sarah Levy, obviously moved to took his 50.
I like that.
Lethal weapon, Nick Manning was still in first place. His elapsed time as of Manley at 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Sure, yeah.
Followed by Sarah Alaska Office. Elapsed time as at 2 hours 29 minutes. Canada, we don't have total time on all those rounds. But into Canada, first place at that Canada was Sarah Alaska Odyssey. Followed by Blues and Harold Attla at 3 hours and 43 minutes. And Holy Thunder came in at 3 hours and 41 minutes. And the Hills are scheduled that the race changed quite a bit after Canada, where we had a few scratches in the breakdown. The Sorrow Alaska Odyssey #1 into Canada. 0 seconds. 7
Sign all of us flag as always when we have no problem.
No doubt. It's got to be Mick, too, by the time.
In the mug.
Jen, there's only a matter of 6 minutes out of your Jen. So it very well could be a different leader coming into this as a shooting.
2 in a row. Seven hours almost exactly.
I'm lucky I got 3. I'm just in the shoulder massage. Oh! Yeah. Went to sleep last night. Yeah, well.
don't know what's supposed to come up. I'll pick up one guy.
At 101. Should be just one more.
Okay.
He's already late, that's okay.
Last of them.
Yeah, it should be. Have 5 gone by? We have Oh, we're getting ready for the finish of the 1993 Yukon 800 shakedown. And the first boats are expected in just a few minutes.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 of us fish bad that
The clicker went by us like we were standing still. Finally caught up before we saw us.
We got Bishop first, and we got Parrish second.
Howard Luke's on the way back finally. The motor's brand new. We already got 2 hours on the ring.
Parrish 303.
Finally started running. That's why I can't hear it now.
The first part of the race going down, we hopped a lot. Yeah, except my hands got cold. Yeah, the last one up somewhere. Before we left, so I had to go wear those. They don't get it. Of course, it rained. Around that mountain.
600 pounds.
Well, he said by taking all his throat to the leg. Was Dad that one there?
Chase you out of here, Cliff? Run you out of here?
So,
All right, you had a good run, huh? Yeah. Did we get him?
you did get it? Second place?
We had to stop him. He died out there.
Got him.
Yeah, you got him. Hey, that was blind luck, huh? Well, there's just his face. We only sat there for 5 minutes. Where the hell have you been? Sat there and let it cool down. I let it get down. Marlin passed us, and they didn't know about 2 sloughs, so it didn't take us very long to get by. Yeah, they kind of missed them. They were real wide out here. This motor's new. It started pushing up toward the end, but then I hit something. Well, the balloon. And then that cowling might have been getting into the... I think it was getting into the... No, not on this one, it won't. See, it's swapped. Yeah, I thought it was swapped too.
Yeah. Walter.
Walter's doing good. Yeah. Hey, quit swearing. Yeah, he's actually pleasant to be around.
You got that big 22 yet?
Oh, no, but
He took all the shortcuts.
That's good.
we didn't break our record anyway.
All right. Everybody's got to win one down the mountain.
2 hours and 50-some minutes, 54 minutes last year. No. 30 seconds.
One thing I hate though is taking off wet and being wet the whole time
Well,
on
look at
You got a rock or a valve lifter ticket.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Ran out of oil. He's stuck down there below some steam now.
Yeah, we'll go great and go. Okay.
Oh, you know how it is. Once you start something like this, you can't quit.
Ran out of gas.
It's fun, though. But we were cruising, man. Okay, here you go. You got the camera here, so get ready. How can we do this? There you go. Hey, on behalf of last year's winning captain. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, appreciate it.
What do we cook for? That was for this race or what? That trophy was for this race? Nice. Nice.
Okay. He won 800 in 1969.
Yeah, in Edmonton Road. Yes,
It's the supreme test of people and equipment. Nowhere else in the world do boats like these go so far, so fast, enduring such punishing conditions. It's the Yukon 800 Marathon Riverboat Race. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Bill Burrows, and we're broadcasting from historic Pump House Restaurant here in Fairbanks, Alaska, on the banks of the Chena River, getting ready to bring you the start of the 32nd running of the Yukon 800. And we've got a hot day of racing in store for you in more ways than one, with 10 fast boats and temperatures in the 90s. And here to help me describe the action is a member of the team that won this race the last 5 years in a row, annual navigator extraordinaire Claude Demientieff. Well, Claude, the big question, of course, is why aren't you and Mary and Wes Alexander racing this year?
Each of us have our own reasons. I know that Wes and Mary, they want to spend more time with their son who's into motocross, motorcycle racing. I thought it was just time to step aside. I know each and every one of us, however, we want to preserve the annual nail. It's a special boat. We want to retire that boat with honors and remember a good period in our history.
Well, if you had to sit this one out, I'm glad you chose to do your sitting next to me. Welcome to the broadcast.
Good to be here, Bill.
And the other member of our broadcast team is KTVF Sports Director Curtis Thomas, who right now is down on the beach talking to the captains and their crews as they make their last-minute preparations. And we'll check in with Curtis when we come back with more of the 1991 Yukon 800. We're about 25 minutes away from race time here in the Yukon 800 for 1991. As you can see, 86 degrees, beautiful, sunshiny day today. Although, Claude, we are seeing a little bit of wind, which may cause a problem for the racers on down the river.
Some of the stretches will be a little bit choppy. I don't know if they're going to run into any big waves, but some of the other stretches will be okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that more in just a minute. But right now, as I said, Curtis Thomas is down on the beach with the captains and their crews, and I understand he has corralled one of those captains. Curtis?
I have Vern Jones. Now, he's a veteran of this race. He has been in the race for 11 years. This is his 11th year, and he's very anxious to go out. As a matter of fact, he's the first racer to go out. Now, does that pose any kind of special problems or give you any kind of special advantages?
No, just be leading the pack and wouldn't have to worry about run into any boats and shortcuts or nothing. That'd be good. If there's good water, it'd be an advantage.
Everybody's out here enjoying the weather, of course. Is this going to be a great thing for you, the weather? Does it help you out? Does it make your engine run a little slower or any faster?
Not really. You get running close to the water, so it's pretty cool over the water, so it doesn't really hinder you or help you other than just being nice and sunny, not raining. Might have a little more winds on the Yukon because have more thermal updrafts and stuff, more thunderstorms.
Now, like we said, this is your 11th year. Any kind of strategy changes you're going to go through?
No, just keep everything consistent, and always just try to keep it consistent and stay at the gravel bars. But just hope to make it down there, #1.
All right. Well, you're starting out #1, Vern, with the Koyukuk Raiders. Good luck to you and have a good run.
Thank you.
Come back home safe.
All right, thank you.
All right. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Curtis. Well, I'm going to take the chance while we're here early in the broadcast to thank some of the people who are making this broadcast possible, including the Pump House Restaurant, where we're broadcasting from right now, MJ Reynolds, Alascom, who is making this broadcast available throughout the state of Alaska, and Fox Creek Bed and Breakfast. Now, Claude, let's take a look at the rules of this race. Now, first of all, what do they have to have in the way of a boat and a motor?
Each boat must be 24 foot in length. They have to carry 2 stock motors, one 20 cubic inch. The main motor is a 44.3 cubic inch. Can't be any more than that. They have to have enough food for 6 people, 6 meals per each of the 3 people. They need a rifle with 10 rounds of ammunition, a fire extinguisher, a sleeping bag, first aid kit, 2 paddles, or a paddle and a pole 10 foot in length. Each crew member must carry a butane ladder or waterproof matches, and the crew must weigh 480 pounds minimum.
Now, that changes every year. Now, I just learned that this year. I heard last year that the weight minimum was 485, but they change that from year to year based on the last year's averages, don't they?
That's correct. Each year they take the total weight of each of the crews, and then they divide by the number of crews, and that comes up to the new number each and every year. And recently it's been rising. I don't know why, but it's been coming up to our disadvantage most of the time.
And a lot of the guys, I know Aaron Kozevnikoff and a few of the others had lost a lot of weight, and we're very proud of it. I don't know if it helped them any or not. One of those racers actually was, what, about 70 pounds under?
71 pounds. I believe that was Harold.
Yeah. As you can see right now, the captains, maybe you can't see, just a group of people there, but those are, take my word for it, some of them captain and crew of these boats getting ready for the race, and they're having a meeting down on the deck. And what are they talking about in this meeting, Claude?
They're going over the basic rules of the race, but more importantly, they're going over how the starting is going to happen. There'll be a series of flags that will signal certain times for each racer. Each racer knows what minute they'll be going out and what starting order. They're going over that so that there's no mistake. They're also going to be discussing the checkpoints along the river, what to do in case of an accident, and probably wishing each and every one of them good luck and have a good time.
Now, they will be going out in 2-minute intervals starting at 2 o'clock. The first boat out being a ghost boat memorializing Ted Monroe, who died in a plane crash last year.
That's right.
And then so the actual first boat will be going out at 2:02.
That's correct.
Now, speaking of starting, is this wind going to cause a problem with getting up on step? Because we have a headwind right now for the racers, the wind blowing from the mouth towards us, so they're going right into that wind as they take off. Is that a problem for them?
It could be a problem. It might be a help for some of the boats. They're pretty heavy right now in the water with all the fuel that they're carrying. If they can get this wind to work for them by going underneath the boat and letting those air traps do their job, that'll help. On the other hand, if they have a hard time getting that momentum and that weight moving, the wind and the little chop that there is out in the river right now is not going to help them.
Yeah, speaking of air traps, I want to get into more about the design of these boats and actually how they work, and we'll do that in just a moment or two when we come back with more of the 1991 Yukon 800. Stay with us. And we're now about 18 minutes away from the first boat going out here at the Yukon 800. And Curtis Thomas has one of the most recognized faces associated with this race with him right now. Curtis?
This gentleman is definitely no stranger to the Yukon 800. Moe Samuelson has been involved in this race since 1962. Moe, you're one of the veterans. Now, you know exactly what these guys, the crew, the captains, what they're all thinking right now. What's going through their minds?
Well, one thing they are thinking of there is to get down to Glen as fast as they can, and hoping that the Yukon River won't be so rough when they get there. That is a main. A lot of times it's a worry of the waves get so big sometimes, and you got to be thinking about that safety to safely get to the Galena.
All right. Now we're going to talk to the captain of your boat, Bill Page, in a little while. Anything that's going through his mind in particular, you know the boat.
Yeah. This is a new boat that we are going in. Last year we didn't finish in time, so this boat runs similar to the yellow boat with Slow-Mo 4, but this is a faster, newer, and a faster boat. About 4 or 5 miles an hour faster.
Great deal. We'll see if that makes a difference. Back up to you, Bill.
Thank you, Curtis. And talking about these boats, as we see some of them heading out to start getting ready for the start, Claude, what is it they do to make these boats go so fast?
Every racer has their own little trick of the trade that they keep trying. Everybody's experimenting with something with their boat. The engine and the lower unit and the props, of course, are very important, but all the speed is in the boat. Those air traps are critical to keep that turbulence and the air in the boat.
What do you mean by air traps? Explain that for me.
Those are like big fins on each side of the bottom of the boat. You can see them when you're close up, right close to the bow right there. The air traps keep the wind from going out sideways. It stays under the boat and creates some bubbles and a little bit of a lift there.
So the boat is actually riding on air. Is it like, I've heard it said they're actually more in the air than they are in the water. Is that true?
Yeah, there's only about 2 foot of boat in the water when they're right on step and performing to their best.
Now that 50 horsepower motor, they're using nothing like a standard prop, are they?
No, it's a stainless steel racing prop. They're probably running a 22-inch pitch or thereabouts, which is not a standard pitch at all.
Now, what does 22-inch pitch mean?
If the prop were sitting in a solid fluid of some kind, for one revolution, the prop would move 22 inches if there was no slip, such as water.
Okay, well, let's take a look at how things worked out last year in the Yukon 800. Of course, Wes Alexander with Claude Demientieff, Mary Alexander were first place. And then Harold Attla, who many people believe is the boat to watch this year with Hughes Blues, came in second. And then there's Vern Jones, who's going out #1 in Koyukuk Raiders. He came in third last year. Overnight sensation with Aaron Kozevnikoff. Now, there's a story, because that boat last year was not the boat that he intended to run, was it?
No, he was on his way up from Canada the night before the race in a slough within the Kozna slough. He come across the riverboat Tanana, and he tried to get out of the waves and went behind this little sandbar, hit something underneath the water and dove right into the bank and broke his boat pretty bad.
Okay, so he's running a new boat he's calling Patches this year, the one that he put back together. Let's go back down to Curtis Thomas now.
We're down here with the guy you guys were just talking about, Harold Attla, and people do believe that he is the man to watch. He's going out #9 in boat #9, Hughes Blues. Now, they call you the risk taker out here. They say you'll scout out some of the passageways and some of the shortcuts. Is that your game plan?
Yeah, we'll check it out going down and see if we could take them coming up, check them out, and probably play conservative up here, though, upper end. Won't risk too much till we get further on down.
So you'll take the speed route when? When do you think you'll really kick in the horses?
What do you mean?
I mean, when will you really turn it all on? Are you going to go full out? Or?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go full out from here. So I'm starting from here and lit off down at Galena.
Any idea about the shortcuts you will be taking?
Yeah, well, there's a few. They're usually open right now, but then the water is rising a little bit, and some of them might open up, and just kind of take a chance, seeing how we are position-wise, and go from there.
Okay. They say you're the risk taker. Is this going to be an all-out race? Are you really going to try to win it and throw caution to the wind, or?
Oh yeah, we're going to go for everything. Yeah, we got ready for it a long time, and we're ready for it, so guess we'll go for it. Yeah.
All right, going out number 9. We'll see how you do. See how you come back.
All right, thanks.
Good luck to you. All right, back up to you guys.
Well, most of the captains are in the water, and I'm sure Harold is running for his boat right now as they're getting ready for the start, just about 12 minutes away from right now. And we'll be back with more of our coverage of the Yukon 800 after these messages. And we're back at the pump house in Fairbanks getting ready for the Yukon 800, and Captain Dan Bates is with Curtis Thomas.
He's definitely no newcomer to this race. He's been in here 8 years. Now, you have a very interesting design on your boat. It's the best out of 3?
Right. I took the best of the Star Wars design, Moe Samuelson's slow-mo kayak design, and Wes Alexander's annual nail. And I went back home and I took the difference of the 3 and tried to make the best boat out of those that I could.
Did you come up with a winner?
Oh, yeah, when I keep the engine going, it's a winner. I do pretty good with it. I'm happy with it. It's not half as rough riding as these other boats. I've had a Star Wars boat for 4 years, and boy, that thing would just beat you to death for you made tannin off. So just for the sheer fact of the smoother glide down the river helps a lot. You know?
Now, before the race, we had you listed as 00 on your boat. Now it's number 10. Why is that?
My daughter said 00 is a bad luck, so we put a different number on the boat. She said we'd do better, so that's what we went ahead and did.
All right. 3 different designs, a new number on your boat. Let's see if it helps you out.
Hey, top 4, hopefully, down there.
Good deal, buddy. Hope you get that pot of silver down there waiting for you in Galena.
It's my turn, I think.
All right, they're anxious and ready to go out here, and we wish them all luck. We'll get back with the captains later on.
Thank you very much, Curtis. And as the boats and their captains are heading into the water and getting ready for the start, let's take a minute to look at what's ahead, what they're going to be facing, Claude, in the way of the route of this race. Now, we know it's on 3 rivers, the Chena, the Tanana, and then the mighty Yukon. Now, let's start here right at the start-finish line and head on down. What's, first of all, ahead of them the first 8 minutes as they go down to the mouth into the Tanana?
Well, this is about 10 miles below the Chena Pump campground there. That's a pretty easy-going piece of river. They'll be taking the slough immediately to the right beyond and down below the swell. They'll be going behind that island right there. Only the upper end, it might be a little bit tricky, but they'll get on through that and head on straight on down.
So there's not really a whole lot to worry about in the early stretches of this river until they get closer to Nenana, is that right?
No, they got a lot of weight, and they're leveling the boat. They're testing it out. They're making sure everything's functioning properly right about here.
So they don't take any chances in this early part of the race?
Oh, no, they're taking chances. They're racing. There's no place to
hide.
To hide, no. There's no such thing as whoa in a race.
Yeah.
Right here, there's a bunch of sloughs. There won't be taking any of those 2, but you can mess you up. The shortcut will be off to the left, coming right on the screen here shortly. That coming right about there.
Okay, and then they get on. The next stop is going to be Tanana. And what's it like between Nenana and Tanana generally?
Generally, there's a lot of winding, lots of shortcuts. There's very little gravel, only in a couple of spots. A lot of times you can go over sandbars without too much damage. You will be finding yourself bumping into some wind. We have an upriver wind right now, but some of the areas will be pointed away from the wind.
Because the river winds quite a bit, and so it changes. They have crosswind, headwind,
yes,
tailwind. It just depends on which way they're facing. As you can see how the river really winds as it hits down.
Yeah, this is Kozevnikoff, or about the area where Aaron crashed his boat last year, in that slough right below the bluff. That's Kozna Slough.
Are they going to rename it Aaron Slough?
I do when I go through there.
And they say that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and that's not true in this race, as you can see.
Well, there's straight lines after you're around the turn. You go from point to point and do the best you can to cut off as much miles. This Squaw Crossing right here, this is the lower end of Squaw Crossing. You won't find any of the race boats go through the middle. That's where the barges have to go, but this is no trouble for a race boat. The race boats will be coming on it'll be the lower part of the screen here. They'll be coming right around that little point there.
I always wanted to know, why do they call it Squaw Crossing?
Well, I understand that the first tug coming up the river was a steamboat and paddle wheeler, and they come around a bend. The river simply opened up. There was a lot of sandbars, and there was this Indian lady walking across the river right there. That's the way the story goes. I don't know if that's true.
Well, lots of stories associated with this race, and we'll be making more of them today and tomorrow, we hope, and we'll have more of our coverage of the 1991 Yukon 800 in just a few moments. And the captains are all in the water getting ready for the start. Let's take a look at the starting lineup and the way they'll be going out in today's race. First of all, as you heard earlier in the interview, Koyukuk Raiders' Vern Jones, who came in third last year, will be going out number 1. And then that should be 8-star Voyager, Walter Lord Jr., known as Sonny. He's the nephew of Roland Lord, who was killed in this race 19 years ago. He'll be going out number 2. Then Lethal Weapon, Mick Manning, number 42. Danny Parrish and Miss Ballistic, who had to scratch last year, as did Mick. Jin, that's Moe Samuelson's new boat, captained by Bill Page in the number 5 position. Then we have Patches, Aaron Kozevnikoff. Number 7 will be North Pole Renegade with Dan Bates as the captain. Family Affair, A.J. Dick, who is the son of Arlen Dick, who is the race marshal for the race this year. He's a rookie. Number 9, Hughes Blues, which everybody believes is one of the boats to watch this year, Harold Attla. And the 10th racer out today will be Ed Gustafson, who has won this race, 4 times? He scratched last year, but he's out for blood this time. Tesoro Alaska Odyssey number 2 is the name of his boat. And we had a chance last night to talk to many of the captains in this year's race, and here's what some of them had to say. Are you still racing the same boat, Overnight Sensation?
No, I'm not. I'm racing the boat I wrecked the night before the 800 last year.
Oh, that's right. You got it stuck back together. What's the name of the new boat?
Patches.
And has it got some patches on it?
It's got 3 years of patches on there.
Did you lose some weight for this race?
I lost a lot of weight for this race.
How much?
Around 68 pounds.
How do you feel about the race this year with Wes Alexander not racing? Does that disappoint you?
Highly.
How do you feel about Wes not racing, and Claude and Mary?
Well, it's kind of a relief, but you want them to be there because they're the toughest people out there on the river.
What makes them so tough? With Claude standing right here, what makes them so tough?
I think it's the navigator. I think Claude's probably the 50% of it at least.
Any predictions about how it's going to turn out tomorrow and the next day?
Well, Page and Manning are going to be tough, and if we're in the top 3, I'll be happy.
What sort of things have been going wrong?
Well, I've broke my boat in half twice now on barge wakes. Utana Barge Line met my dad and said he was looking up in the air from off the barge at us. That wasn't too fun, but it slows you down, makes you think about a lot of things, you know. 800 miles and going fast ain't really the secret, I don't think. It's just running a nice, smooth, clean race and keeping your prop out of the rocks, you know. It's, somebody asked me the other day if I've learned anything. I said, yeah, I've learned quite a bit, let me tell you, you know. Money and heartbreak and tears and there's a lot of joy that goes with it. It's just fun cruise, like on, you know, tomorrow if the weather's like this, it'll just be a joy to ride down there. And finishing or winning or not isn't the idea about it. The thing is, it's the longest marathon boat race in the world, you know, making the race. That's all you got to do, come home.
Claude, we've heard a lot of comments from all these captains about who they think is going to win. I should ask you, representing the annual Nail crew, what are your predictions? Who do you think is going to be the boat to watch?
All of them have a pretty good chance of winning. Anything can happen on this race. Those who have a lot of experience is Bill Page. He, of course, has been here quite a while. Ed Gustafson is always right in. That's a real fierce competitor. And Harold Attla is an extremely fierce competitor. You can find him taking every shortcut, leaving no
no stone unturned. Mick has a fast boat, and he's always a competitor.
Well, the race is officially now underway, but you don't see a boat leaving. What you see is a reef floating in the water. This represents the ghost boat of Ted Monroe, who died in a plane crash last year. So it's straight up 2 o'clock.
This is for Ted.
This is for Ted.
We're thinking about his wife, Marie. Look soon.
Okay, well, as the reef gently floats down in the water that seems to have quieted down a little bit. It was choppy a little while ago, but the wind seems to have died down a little bit.
Must be this thermals from all this heat. Let's hope it stays this way. It can get pretty rough on the Yukon. I hope they don't run into any bad weather.
Okay, we're about 1 minute away now from the first real boats heading out, and that'll be Koyukuk Raiders and Vern Jones.